have you come to the dojo last time you and Kelly came up? I don't remember. I don't recall if you did or not. So I'm going to give you the grand tour. This is the belt from the Liberty Sprint. This is an example of the belt from the Liberty Sprint. An example that's going to go to some of the students who've either raised the most in private fundraising, going to the most houses, things like that, or who maybe not necessarily haven't raised the most amount of money, but have raised the most awareness by getting the most sponsors. Because it's not just about the money, right? It's not just about the money for the fundraiser, the first annual Liberty Sprint 2017. The idea wasn't just about the money that we were getting for Fisher House Foundation, for them to send to the different Fisher houses around the country. It wasn't just about the money per se. See, it was about raising awareness of the Fisher House Foundation and their Fisher houses. So people knew about the Fisher House Foundation and their Fisher houses, and that there is a need, right? There's a need for an awareness that, you know, there's a lot of things, bro, about, you know, support the wounded veterans, support the veterans, and those things are fantastic, and you know, we need it. And not just post 9/11 vets, right? Pre 9/11 vets too. Vietnam, World War II, Korea, you know, and Gulf War One, and all the other engagements in between that we know about and that we don't, right? But there is an element that people forget, and that's the families, right? The families of the veterans, the caregivers of the veterans. They need assistance too, and that's where the Fisher House Foundation and the Fisher houses that they run come in. And you know, and that's what we want to do. We want to raise money for it, right? But awareness also. So that way when we're done with the Liberty Sprint, when we are, right, that the awareness that we raised for the Fisher House Foundation carries on after we're done. And that was also the goal. So that's why things like the ride-along and the police car, the police cruiser, and the special camouflage belt with Liberty Martial Arts on it that they'll be able to wear through the summer months in class, not on test days, obviously. That's where everybody has to be dressed right dress. You know how that goes, right? It's about awareness. It's not just about the money raised. So anyway, back to the tour. Sensei David, like us, but believes in creeds and mottos and codes, right? And so he took one of the Templar codes and he kind of converted it and modified it, and he turned it into the Liberty Martial Arts. Be without fear in the face of adversity. Stand brave and upright, that your family may be proud. Speak the truth always, no matter the consequences. Protect the helpless, and do no wrong. That's important. It's on the back of many of our t-shirts. It's the creed, it's the code by which he runs his dojo, and that's a fact. The new leadership club enrollees for 2017 are Bailey and your niece, my daughter Abigail, and this is their progress, their leadership martial arts club. Bailey, she has these. She's working on, they have to have 5,000 push-ups, right? 5,000 push-ups, not at once. A written essay, community service, helps with beginner classes. Abigail, she's here on push-ups. She did her essay. She's doing this. We want you on camera. We're looking to do Tell My Story video series, things like that. This is the family seating area. This is the Ammonoosuc River we have outside of our window. It's a beautiful view we have outside of our window. Obviously you can see the gorgeous view that we have, and you can imagine what it looks like in the winter. Again, I don't remember if you and Kelly came, But if not, things have changed a little bit. This is our display case that Sensei David and I have set up. He's put lights in. You see those LED light strips. They change color on a timer to kind of give a little element of, see, it turned from blue to yellow, green, or whatever. Give an element of accent to it, you know. So up here we have some rules for the mats. No socks, barefoot, and approved dojo shoes only. Now, I think you know why we only have bare feet or approved dojo shoes on the mats instead of socks. Why do you think it is? Why? Why no socks? Why no socks? Because socks slip, right? When you're doing a form, they slip and slide, and ankles roll. We've had ankles roll, and a toe has actually been dislocated once, and it's a liability issue, and it's not safe. So we had to change that. Right? Refreshments that I sell: water, apple juice, Sunny D, so on and so forth. I came up with this idea, and Sensei David obviously approved it. Right? We're working on it. We're a new dojo. We're under a new system. So we're working on it. It's the office we'll get to. Okay. And then we come in here. We have the kids bow right there before they come in. Peace over power. They bow before they come in. I bow before I come in, even though I'm not a student. And I'm not strictly required to, but I bow out of respect for the space, the training area, and out of respect for the effort that they put into here, right? I bow out of respect for the effort that the students and the instructors and everybody who steps on the mats here, that they put into, right? I bow for the effort that they put into. This dojo, as you see, there's no kanji on the wall per se. Not anymore, not really, since we moved to the new system, because we don't look at the system here as a type of religion. There's nothing to that, and the only real symbolism here is the flag of the United States of America. You know, because that's what Sensei believes in: liberty martial arts, right? Not some kind of temple or anything like that. We don't bow because we worship the space. We bow out of respect for the effort that people put in here. The motto, not the creed, the motto: in here we earn, in here they earn. I'm not a student, obviously, but that's why I bow in respect, not worship. The only person I worship is God. Our Trinitarian God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, right? So, our Lord Jesus Christ. So, we have a fan going because it gets hot and humid and muggy in here with people sweating, and plus it's muggy, it's summertime. So we have a fan that I brought in. This is Sensei David's famous, world famous, awesome box, the awesome box. You might have seen that on YouTube, on his channel. Sensei David's father, Mr. Batterina, actually made that box by hand. Okay, he made this box. He made it by hand, and it is solid and awesome. We've had students jump on it, knock it over. There is no give. There is nothing to move. This is Sensei David's belt, one of his spare belts that he keeps here. That box is amazing. It is quite sturdy. I've seen nothing like it before. It's quite a piece of work. These are our old system trophies when we were part of the USA Karate system, the Sullivan's American Kempo system. And these are USA Karate Champion Most Supportive School trophies, 3 or 4 years in a row. And a couple of students have donated Grand Championship trophies for various things such as sparring, weapons, forms, or kata, things of that nature. Let's see if I can read it. Let's see. It's a grand champion from 2011. Grand champion. Grand champion. These are all championship ones. Most supportive school, 14. Grand champion. A lot of the most supportive schools are grand champion, and he has some in his office and he has some at home. We have the grand champion was Hanchi Larry Sullivan's Grandmasters tournament, invitation only, so on and so forth. And we won 3 or 4 years in a row, most supportive school, before Sensei David and Hanchi Larry Sullivan split ways. So yeah, so these are Sensei David's Muay Thai sparring pads, new up top. You get towards the used at the bottom. He also uses them he's a certified Muay Thai instructor. He uses them in class for various things. These are weights that, of course, your godson Patrick disinfects every other day, because you don't want to get any kind of germs or anything that you can avoid. He also disinfects the floor and cleaning different things. Every one of these bricks, you might ask yourself, what do these bricks do? Well, you see the bricks with initials or names on them, and the names are on the other side. Every single one of those cement blocks, I was corrected by Armin. Remember, Armin went to the range with? They're not cinder blocks, all right? Because cinder is made out of cinder, ashes and such. Cement blocks, all right, Armin? The cement blocks are named and initialed, but they actually are given names, Captain Crunch and Ball Buster and other things. They're given a name for every student who attains the rank of brown belt, and they have to perform with these cement blocks during every single belt test. They have to perform at the end of the test for about 45 minutes with the blocks, the cement blocks, in hand. Every one of their kata, their open hand forms, their blocking forms, so on and so forth. And they have to figure out a way to do it. They can't put it down, because if they did, these mats up here and here, where they line up, would be totally chewed up. And they're not. So there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on those. And they earn them. And when they become black belts, and we've only have a few because Sensei David makes them earn it, they retire those blocks and they take them home. So we also have different weapons, some forms, and different weapons they train with. This is the good old versus Bob, right? But we don't call him Bob in here, okay? We call this fine gentleman Stan. His name's not Bob, but his name is Stan. How you doing, Stan? It's partially a gift for Sensei David that we got. Changing room, Sensei David's office. Going into my office. Sensei David and Matthew, over the weekend a while ago, surprised me by revamping my office. Before, it was kind of like a nook, you know, that was a little thrashed and kind of just, it was rough hewn, I guess you could say, but I worked out of it, you know, and Sensei spent a significant amount of money to get it set up and ready to go. So these are the various staff instructors. There are a couple more staff instructors that are on a leave of absence for different family emergencies right now. So this is my office in here. Signed by the staff instructors. You'll see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and the staff instructors here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 on administrative leave at the moment. I took that photograph of a citrine candle holder. Remember that one? That was pretty cool. That's a World War II. Hey, remember that one, man? That's a World War II deck of cards that, well, it's a facsimile, right? It's a deck of cards that they would send to the POWs in World War II. And when they would peel them back, it would be an escape map, right? Pretty cool, huh? Pretty badass. And the Germans didn't really know. So during World War II, the United States Playing Card Company joined forces with the American and British intelligence agencies to create a very special deck of cards. This deck was specifically created to help help Allied prisoners of war escape from German POW camps. This deck of cards became known as the Map Deck. And it was a top secret program, so look up the Map Deck. Awesome. It took me a while to put that together, and it was not, I mean, it's not real, but I still had to like put it together and glue it to the backboard. And this is our supply closet. Pretty fabulous, huh? My favorite piece of gear in here is the fan. I love it. So, all right. And one of the things that I had to really study because of my brain injury, you know, at first was the color scheme for our system to rank up for adults: white, yellow, orange, purple, and I'm colorblind, right? So some of this is, you know, white, yellow, orange, purple, blue, blue stripe, green stripe, brown 3, brown 2, brown 1, black, right? But for youth, there are stripes here: white with a stripe, black stripe, so on and so forth. But these are the required belts that you have to go through. So that's the Grand Tour. There you go. And I don't remember if I mentioned this screen has scrolling slideshow of different pictures of the students and events and video. At one point we're gonna have video going through, things like that. So we have the students put their bags and shoes here, even though there's a lot of overflow because we have a lot of kids. But before we had that installed, the kids would put their shoes and bags lined up all through here and here, and it was a nightmare, and it was a fire hazard. And Sensei David kept saying, no, it's a fire hazard, and the kids would forget, and they would make it neat, and they would forget again, until finally he installed those. And he went through about one class each for our 3 different youth classes. The 2 adults classes, they got it because they're adults. But it took one class each for the 3 different youth classes of a special training class to teach the kids how serious we took the fire safety. Oh, which reminds me, excuse me. Yeah, it reminds me. 2 things, actually, fire safety. Yeah, so one thing I bought, fire safety wise, is this ladder. Ooh. It is First Alert escape ladder. So it's a collapsible ladder, obviously, that in the event of emergency, because remember, safety third, security first, brother, right? But in this case, we're talking safety first. There's only one point of egress from here, and it's down that dang hallway. This is an old leather tannery. It's called the Tannery building, right? Tannery Marketplace, leather tannery. So this place has some, even though Sensei David, by hand, converted this entire space with my help and the help from a couple people, students, help from my family and a couple other students. He converted this place from literally a stove shop, a coal and wood stove shop, into this. You know, he installed the pot lights and the electrical wires, and he put the wood here and painted and so on and so forth. This building is a tannery, so it's permeated with the various chemicals. This place, bro, would go up like a match. So there's one way out. Not acceptable. So I bought that, and it's rated even for my weight, because I don't want to die. Not yet. So we'd hook it up to here, and we'd go out right down there, because out here would be too far. And our old dojo is right in that building, and it was way too small. So that was that. And the other thing I forgot to mention was is these bars. You see these bars? Well, Sensei David, okay, and this is where the projector goes. Sensei David, they're all different widths, you know, hand widths and heights and lengths, I mean. Sensei David has the students do a challenge sometimes where he has them swing across these bars, right? Swing across these bars and see how many times they can go back and forth. And the person who does it the most, end to end, wins. And these hooks up here are also for various pieces of a kit, appurtenances, for things such as the bag, the weight ball, the rope, and things of that nature. So this place can be converted to do a lot of things. It's actually quite big. So there you go. Miss you, brother. Hope to talk to you soon. Peace, man.